Wait a minute. Who are you calling for? Oh, Sheridan. Oh, that's me. Wow. Okay, gotta go. Ah! Somebody's on time in this whole thing. Okay, listen, I'm getting on this. But I'm staying here in section F. And there's no chairs. And you're stuck staying here. Is it recording? You're stuck staying here. Yeah, I got it. You want to get it? Okay, cool. You're stuck staying here. And no chairs. Look, nobody's got chairs. Why don't they have chairs? So if you had your own telescoping chair that we sell, you'd be okay. Ah, and these steps are so high. Look at that.
It's ready?
Okay, take care. Appreciate it. So that's the scoop, guys. We need those chairs all over the place. So here we go. Now, you want to hear a story? I don't have my singing dog because I wanted to take Z, my singing miniature Chiweenie, on this trip where I'm going to a wedding. And I hope this is recording. Where I'm going to a wedding in Vegas of cousin David, who worked very hard to start the Right Network way before anybody was doing anything. And he had some important people on with him. Anyway, so what's the deal here? So last Wednesday, I'm playing a gig. Where was I playing the gig? I was playing a gig at Blue Jean Blues, which is on the same block, 33rd Street, just north of Oakland Park Boulevard, on the beach in glorious Fort Lauderdale. And because I get down there, you know, we were going on Wednesday night. There's a jam at Kelly's Irish Pub. That's at Federal and Oakland Park. And the jam is like 7:30 to 10:30. Adam doesn't call me up much, but I crash. I just play whenever they play something, the trumpet's needed. Anyway, so, and after that I hang out an hour there. Then I go to Fishtails, which is over there on 33rd Street and the beach, Ocean, in Fort Lauderdale, and jam over there, where I know the owner, Kathy, and everybody else working there. Then I head over to Blue Jean Blues and jam over there. Played a lot in both places, you know, and my marriage is breaking up. First, and my kids' 3 daughters were old enough they didn't need me for homework or with their friends. I headed out to music. First place I found was Casablanca Cafe. Tremendous place, top-rated restaurant on the beach, just north of Las Olas, south of Sunrise. Best food and piano bar. And on Sunday night, you have 2 music directors. Will is the director for all the shows down here in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. He hires all the musicians, and she, they're a couple, and she hires all the entertainment for the, I'm kind of brain dead because low sleep and ready for the flight, and you'll hear everything that happened. So she hires Royal Caribbean, all the entertainment for Royal Caribbean. It's so hot. My IDF cap coming off. It's backwards, but it's IDF. It's a HAL, Israeli Army. Got on my, it's a HAL and Israeli Army yarmulke. And, you know, we wear a yarmulke because unlike most people thinking they're it, they're, quote, God's gift, although they don't put God in the equation to everybody. And they say me and my friends, me and my parents, me, and because it's all about them. You know, everybody in my age group and before learn you put yourself last, humbly. God's on top. Understand, standing under what? God's not above us. God's everywhere. Last, humbly. God's on top. Understand, standing under what? God's not above us. God's everywhere. God understand, standing under what? God's not above us. God's everywhere. God's behind every molecule. Everything. Whether it's all challenges, fractures in older people, all this kind of stuff, cancers, Holocaust. But so you're thankful for everything. It's a mental trick, part of happiness. Actually, I'm going to sidetrack since I'm talking here. How do you achieve happiness? It's in my book called You Are Not What You Eat, A Doctor's Guide to Transform Your Pain to Pearls of Wisdom and Joy. Guess what? In that book, I explain so many things that nobody knows. As a Holocaust survivor, my mom gave me all the lessons about what happened. My father's father had a debilitating stroke at 40. My parents were the oldest in the children in their families. They absorbed all the pain. You're talking about Holocaust pain. You're talking about physical pain. Despite my grandfather with the stroke being a master painter, unbelievable. And he could sit at the piano, I remember, and play classical music without ever having taken a lesson, real genius. But he didn't work after 40. And my grandmother, an angel, Miriam, she worked cash registers. Anyway, so I'm gonna, let's see, did I cover a lot of stuff? The word universe, uni is one, verse is a sentence, a pasuk, a sentence in the Torah, the Bible, a sentence in a song. Which one sentence? The first of the Torah. Torah means teaching. That's what it means, from God to us. Moses, and the crazy guy talking to an invisible God. Hey, he brought down for the whole world ethical monotheism in the form of the lessons of the Torah. And let's see, where was I? You're talking about a 71-year-old guy with a brain at 71. You're as young as you feel, but the body is what it is, guys. The soul, we're a soul inhabiting this body, which is a spell. I think it's M-I-N-Uscule, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. But minuscule, I always spell it wrong. A piece of the breath of God, or of God, housed in this unbelievable integrated collection of living machines. So it's like a person in a car driving. The person is not the car, despite whatever car he drives and a license plate on the back and driving 100 miles an hour, wacko people today, and cutting people off, etc. Well, where are they going to get like that? Where are they racing to? Who's got something so important? So be safe, be moderate, be safe, be humble, be modest. So, as a person in the car, you've got the car computer brain, you've got the car engine heart, you've got the car sensory organs on the dash, which are not telling you got an emergency. They're warning signs. Just like when we have pain, it's a warning sign that you better change your ways. Put in the gas. Fill up with air the tires, check the oil, etc., etc. You're not an emergency, but if you don't address it and make some change in your life, so just like the person in the car, the soul and the body, we're not a body, a mind and body. When you say mind and body, you're missing the whole person. The person's the soul or spirit, the non-physical. The body is a collection of machines that go to the worms at the end. Go into the soil with the worms. You grow flowers from them. By the way, there's a story called The Crackpots. So, but I'm going to get soon. You stay on with me. You're going to get this crazy story. And I'm going to refer you how you see my singing dog, who I back up on a trumpet. And when I take him to the clubs at night, everybody wants to know if I don't take him, where's Z? I'm Dr. Z, ZVI, the future wisdom-tainment Dr. Oz. New and improved. He was infotainment, selling crap all about money. We're wisdom-tainment, the wellness wisdom warriors. Wellness, I is ill, he is well. You focus on the you, the ego, the narcissism. You'll never experience meaning, purpose, happiness, joy. But you focus on the we, that's the well, meaning. Service of God, service of spouse or relation, service of parents, grandparents, service of kids, service of community, God, family, country. I is ill, we is well. So, a lot of stuff here, guys. Happiness, how do you achieve happiness? You got John Belushi. I'm a member, I have a nephew, unfortunately, who, at the age, well, I'm going to tell you about pain. My mother was a Holocaust survivor. My grandparents had a tavern. We have pictures. And they served food and drink. This is a town called Bubryka, crazy spelling. B-B-R-Y-K-A was one of the spellings, near Lvov, Ukraine. But it was sometimes Ukraine, sometimes Poland, sometimes Russia. And my mother spoke 6 languages. Amazing. Well, they started the Axios. And the kids in school said to my mother, her friends, too bad you're Jewish. Yeah. Can't even go here. I'm going to find a jacuzzi pool because I missed my flight this morning. And my phone was taken last Wednesday. I had no phone. You know, if you Google AI, that the brain, human brain, the normal human brain does a million things. How much is stored and done by the brain and how much by the cell phone, which was taken from me and disappeared from Wednesday at Blue Jean Blues because I left it on the table. I was in shorts, came with my little singing doggy from the beach straight to Blue Jean Blues to jam. When I get out, I got to play the trumpet, killing my brain, making Wellness Wisdom Warriors, all the apps, everything we're doing so we can beat out Bezos in time, who graduated 10 years after me from Princeton, didn't invent anything, didn't write a book, didn't do anything. In fact, he was depressed, and he just came up with outdoing the bookstores. If the CEOs who were sitting around collecting the millions of dollars copied him, they would have had something serious. Now look what I got to do with my knee replacements, back pain and all. I got to jump down here. That's ridiculous. Oh, he's got a stepladder. Magic. Look how far it is. Break a leg. What if somebody has like something worse than me? It's unbelievable. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Whoa. All right, made it. So, let's keep going, guys. This is cool. Oh, it's hot and humid. Got to be inside for the AC. So, here, getting my stuff. I'm dressed in a muscle shirt, but I got a nice, dress pants and dress jacket on. I was supposed to be at a wedding this afternoon. Michael Jagged, the son of my cousin David Jagged, whose father was one of 2 twins, younger brother of my mother, again, Holocaust survivors. So, oh, look at this, nice and cool. This is a Sheraton, and I'll tell you about the Sheraton. It's a pretty crazy story. My cat, it seemed like it's so big. See the restaurant? I'm gonna go find a charger because I'm running out of juice so I can keep this going because I got a lot to say. I'm wired. I've been up pretty much. Nope, no socket there. You know, I was in a bunch of banks yesterday, and you can go in a whole bank and no sockets. And you know what the guy told me? Because if they had sockets, bums come from off the street, and they're going to sit there in the bank. I took in 4 homeless people. They're not bums, they're human beings, guys. And the veterans, yeah. Okay, let me find a charger here. Now, where the heck did I smartly put my charger? You know, I lost my coffee cup in the airport. I talked to some Christians that were standing there. You know, they hang in the airport to talk to people. And I told them about universe, one verse. Did I finish that before? Uni, one verse. Which verse? First verse. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I don't know if I finished that from before. You know, my brain, you skip words, you skip something at this age, and suddenly you come back to it, a file pops up out of your head. Look at this. I got my sit-fit chair, which was an invention, chair that's a total gym, that I spent tons of money on, and couldn't bring it to market because you need millions of dollars to manufacture, to distribute, to store, to market. So I got to find a charger, and then we don't have a charger. And then we're going to continue, whoever's there, if anybody. Sorry to talk with my ear in there, but, oh, I got a charger in here, guys. So we're going to be able to keep up. Hopefully it doesn't die. Looks like it's 1%. No, it's not 1%, but it's close. I got to sit here near this thing because that's the one socket I see in this whole cafeteria place, Sheridan. So, all right, look, I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to start with last Wednesday. So I bust my tuchus. That's your ass. Hey, you know what you find on either end of a proctoscope? An asshole. Anyway, I'm going to tell you another joke. It's always good to start a talk with a joke. In fact, I'm going to tell you a couple of jokes. Well, that was one thing. The next joke. So the guy meets a girl and they go home together. That shouldn't happen. But the guy meets a girl and they go home together. And the guy's getting undressed. So he takes his shoes and socks off. And the woman says, "Oh my God, what's the matter with your toes?" He says, "Nothing. I had polio." She says, "What? Polio? You mean polio?" The guy says, "No, polio. But it's okay, nothing the matter. You know, if I don't put this charger in quickly, it's going to run out of juice." So let me do that quickly. And I got a lot to talk about, guys. This is the first maybe podcast from Unmasked. Our podcast is called Unmasked. My channel on YouTube is Flugelsvig. Flugel, like a flugelhorn, because I'm a trumpet player, and I got flugelhorn, euphonium, trombone, got a lot of stuff.
For charger the phone, you can do it there.
There's another charger?
There.
Where?
In the big one.
Where? Well, look at that. It's better than I thought. Wow. Okay, thank you very much.
Or there.
That's better. No, listen. I'm doing a live thing. You're on live on
In
TikTok.
the bar too. Okay?
This is good. Oh, at the bar too. Look, this place is amazing. They have here and at the bar. But the bar, see the chairs at the bar? They're cushioned, but the back, there's nothing going up higher up. Look at this one. That's for an elephant. You know, the elephant has all these things. It has a big trunk. It has the thick legs. It has the body. It has the tail. So these 5 blind guys go, and they all feel something different with the elephant. One thinks it's a snake. One thinks it's a tree. That's how life is. Blind. Anyway, so where was I? I forget. See, once again. Oh yeah, telling a joke. See, the file pops up after I was looking for it. Now, I'm an observant Jew. I'm learning. I pray every day. I'm talking to God, with God, every moment. You know how God talks to us? You know, you got all these crazy guys who think God is talking to them. That's a lot of ego, narcissism. They think they're Jesus. By the way, over 100,000 Jews were murdered on the cross within the same period of time Jesus was killed. He was an observant Jew. Learned with Rabbi Gamliel in the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple. There are no temples today. When Jews, Reformed Jews, call it a temple, they're a little lost in space. And we call it not only a synagogue, a shul. It just means a gathering place, but a shul is Yiddish for school. Because, yeah, we pray, but we do a lot of learning. A lot of learning. There's a lot to learn and understand that you're not going to find in general society. You know, very often it's the minorities that have the answers and the truth, and the majority is lost in space, lemmings going over the cliff. So, getting back, see, another file popped up. How does that work? I have no idea. But I told you, the AI said 99% of brain power is in your phone. 1% is in your physical brain. Is that whacked out? Whacked out. I Googled that because I went to Blue Jean Blues because in the day, I'm working hard. Come the end of the day, I'm up at 3, 4, bust my toes, as I said before. That's your butt. Either end of a proctoscope, the butthole, the asshole. Okay, so at the end of the day, I go and play my trumpet. If I go out to the clubs, it's to play. It's not to listen, although I do some listening. If I don't take my doggy Z, my singing dog, everybody's pissed off. Where's Z? You know, when you walk your dog, people say, don't look at you, they look at the dog. Oh, such a beautiful doggy. What's his name? What are they going to do with the dog's name? Do they say, I'm beautiful? Do they say, what's your name? You know, if people were as kind to people as they are with dogs, maybe we'd have peace on earth. Shalom. Shalom is peace, to be whole. When people greet, you say shalom, wishing wholeness. And then you go through like birds. And then you say goodbye, shalom, peace again. It's like with the shofar. Long, peace, then in between, all the bird chirping, and then leaving. Yep. And leaving again is shalom, peace. All right, getting back. So my grandfather, so when the Axiom started in Bubrovka, Poland, Ukraine, Russia, different times, near Lvov, which became Lemberg, what happened was the kids were not nice to my mom, her friends. My mom went home crying to my grandmother Sarah. My mother Sheila went crying to my grandmother Sarah. Said, what's going on? Why are they being nasty to me? And Grandma Sarah said, because we're Jews. And we belong in a different place. And the beating started. If you look in Fiddler in the Roof, which is missing a second. I'd like to write the sequel to Fiddler in the Roof because the story is whacked out, guys. Anyway, so my grandfather used to loan a farmer a lot of money whenever he needed it. Never turned him down. So when the Axioms, it wasn't the Nazis at that time. It was the local people. Nasty. Really nasty. What people can do. We say in Judaism, Hasidus, the Chasids, it's from Chesed, kindness. Judaism, one word, loving kindness. There's a justice, look, it's a totem pole, stepping ladder. Justice, do no harm. It's not about the punishment. It's about not doing any harm in the first place. Then there's righteousness, the things you have to do. Then there's loving kindness. The word love is bad. All the songs, all the people, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all the fun junk, adrenaline kick. It's loving kindness, respect, honor, modesty, discipline, moderation. This is what's needed. Do not, and then holiness, which is to be separate, which is to be distinct with God. There's a concept, machzi the shekel, half shekel concept, that when Moshe Rabbeinu, means drawn from the water, because Pharaoh's daughter, Basya, daughter of God, Basya. When Batya or Basya, daughter of Pharaoh, pulled Moshe from the water, she renamed him. That wasn't the name his parents gave him. He had several names before that we learned. But she named him drawn from the water. And anyway, getting back, so when things started, my grandmother went to this couple, the farmer, non-Jewish farmer, whom my grandfather used to loan money, and said, look, my husband's always done for you, always been there. We need help. We'll give you everything, our home, our tavern, our money, everything. You gotta hide us. So my grandmother Sarah, my grandfather Leon, my mother the oldest child, Sila, my uncle Jack, Yaakov, and Uncle Phil, Lipa. My mother was probably somewhere between 14 and 16. My twin uncles were around 8. They were hidden in an attic, but were almost found out early on. So then they were hidden in a hole in the ground, under the pigs, with the cockroaches, with the dirt, with the darkness, with no food. They stayed in a hole for 2 years. You know, in a concentration camp, you have other people to talk with. You had maybe some bread or water, maybe some music, maybe some prayer. Being with other people, I, as always, said we as well. You need other people. You need connectedness. You need community. Machzi the Shekel, I was telling you, is Moshe Rabbeinu was told by God when we built the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert. You know, the Jews were chosen. You know what for? Because God went to all the empires, big empires, and said, all the peoples, and said, hey guys, you want my Torah? You want my book? Which would have been written for them. So they wanted to know what's in it in a haughty way. They're not ready to serve God. And when God listed what's in it, and he came to don't murder, these people said we can't do that. Don't steal, we can't do that. Don't adultery, we can't do that. We can't do this, we can't do that. We're our own gods. What do we need you, God? He came to the Jewish people, and what was their story? You want to be chosen for your whole people to live as slaves to another people for 210 years, several generations? Who's going to choose that? They were chosen for that. And they were chosen to follow this crazy guy talking to an invisible God who wasn't even previously with them. He grew up in the palace because he was saved by Batya and grew up in the palace. And they were going to follow him into the desert, running from Pharaoh with 10 plagues. Are you kidding me? You want to live in the desert one day? Try 40 years. And the whole generation dying out, the whole previous, and only the youth coming into Israel. Chosen to get God's law, the Torah, and the teaching on Mount Sinai. Sinai is a play on a word that means sin. Hate, not sin, hate, means hate. From Sinai, getting the Torah, meaning hate. You know why? You want to hear the story of religion? Dr. Svi giving you the story. The future wisdom-tainment. Dr. Raz, infotainment. Wisdom-tainment. We're a team. We got a big team. You're going to hear a lot of podcasts. We're going to rise to the top of the podcast world because a lot of bullshit. Tucker Ucker, you know what? Schmucker Tucker. And you got Condas. And you got, I haven't been watching any of the crap because the TV, I don't even watch TV anymore. It's all crap. It's all bullshit. You got Uyghur. What's his first name? Uyghur. He's a wee, the putz. And you got that girl, Anaconda. Anaconda. Idiots, all idiots, so stupid. And anybody listening to them, wow, crazy. And you got, what's his name? Nick, Sick Nick. Fuentes. Putz. Schmucks, all schmucks. A whole bunch of them. Anti-Israel. Israel's saving the word, stepping up for Europe, stepping up for the West. They're attacked 7 fronts. You got Iran, you got Houthis, you got Hamas, you got Hezbollah. Hey, listen, you know what you can do? Just like Schmucker, Tucker, Ucker, you can uck them all. Send all these people. Send them to Hamas land. Let them live there. They love the Hamas, the Palestinians who don't exist, schmucks. And You know what? All the scammers, spammers. I missed my plane today. Where did you hear the story? Where did you hear the story? What's been going on the past week with me? God's challenging me so much. Make me stronger. I thank God for all the challenges. So, that's why we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem, Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem is the all-merciful God name. The highest name. Elokeinu is our God, nature, din, justice, discipline, sickness, hip fracture and old age, cancer, child with autism, child with cancer, fentanyl deaths, more deaths from fentanyl than all the wars we've had, tragedies. But we got to thank God for everything, otherwise we'll go crazy. And that's happiness. How do you achieve happiness? 3 steps. It's in my book, You're Not What You Eat, A Doctor's Guide to Transform Your Pain to Pearls of Wisdom and Joy. How? Tell you how. Now my brain just went blank. No sleep, living on coffee, not eating, with a singing dog and playing trumpet at night. Princeton, 10 years before Bezos. Gonna beat him out. We're gonna have the top wellness company in the world. Why? Because I got my singing dog. Just check him out. Go to my channel, DRZVI, Dr. Z. Tell everybody, send it out. You'll see my singing dog. I have him since 8 weeks old. There's no dog like him. We were on America's Got Talent during the virus, and it was on Zoom. We went very far. I hope I got in this year. It was a little late. The AGT communicates kind of poorly with everybody, actually. But I think we got in. And so I got the doggy. Then I got my buddy, R.D. Klein, the only Jewish Top Gun fighter pilot. You're not talking about movie theaters. You're talking about Top Gun fighter pilot, the real deal. He and I, first time in an Orthodox synagogue in Manila. We visited the ambassador from Israel. We visited the consul general. We visited Alfred Hahn, who was a cousin of my uncle, left Russia with his parents, married a Filipino beauty queen, and he was the BMW out there. Had a huge house, had a heliport and a pool on the roof, 4-story with an elevator. I used to take my buddies there on the weekend, and we used to have a great time. Then, every morning there was a 365 club in the Philippines. You know, they don't speak Filipino, no such language. It's Tagalog, Tagalog. Fascinating. You know, in the Air Force, I was in the Philippines 3 years, a volunteer an extra year. Amazing society, but it's Catholic, and the cardinal was Cardinal Sin. Ever hear anything like that? Cardinal Sin at the time. Now we're what? Oh, I was at Andrews Air Force Base, Washington, D.C. I was in the Azores, which is off Portugal. Amazing, the houses, so many colors, and they have the running of the bulls over there. What a stupid thing, people to challenge their own lives. The body goes, the soul goes. The soul is you, as we said earlier. All right, and I was in China, Changzhou. I was in Korea. I was in Okinawa. I was in Texas, Wilford Hall, Lackland Air Force Base. I was in, where else was I? I'm not done, but I'm done with that. Okay, so my parents were hidden. My mother and my father's father had a debilitating stroke at 40. A lot of pain. My parents' friends were all Holocaust survivors. A lot of pain. So I went into healthcare and medicine. I don't know what I was doing. I took a year off after graduating Princeton and lifeguarded, taught tennis, worked as a water chemist. The Hudson River froze over, put my trumpet, my tennis racket in the trunk. I was undefeated, first singles tennis in high school, solo trumpet player. All I knew was Chris Everett's Holiday Park. So I drove, I had a blue Spitfire convertible, got in it, I don't know how my parents let me go. And headed down to Chris Everett's Holiday Park, Sunrise. Well, getting down there, guess what? There was a musicians exchange, and I stopped at a 7-Eleven, got a throwaway magazine. There was an apartment for $25 behind this old lady's house that I rented, and then I subleased it to these two guys from upstate. Worked with Kodak, I think, one of those companies, and so I made money on the place. And then in the same little throwaway, there was an ad, wanted trumpet player. I tried out the next day, and I got a gig playing with an amazing guy who brought his piano player from Vegas. He imitated everybody. This was on Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano in 1976 to 7. And he sang, piano player, had a trombone, had a guitar, had a bass, had the drums, had a sax, and me on trumpet. And that was amazing. I wondered what his name was and the name of the restaurant. Don't remember. But I ran into him at a private party in the past couple of years. Amazing. Couldn't believe it. He remembered me. And but I forget his name now. I got it in my phone. Everything's in the phone. Remember, 99% phone, 1% brain. That's whacked out. So let's keep going. So a year off. Head down to Florida. Played my trumpet, hung on the beach, went out dancing. We did tennis challenge matches, had a buddy, played for money, did tennis. Glorious, coming from New York down to Florida with the palm trees and the blue turquoise water and the white sand. I don't know why all these single ladies talk about wanting to travel. I travel with my imagination, my brain. Well, here's, got TVs all over the place to numb everybody's brain with commercials to control your brain and sell you stuff. TV that's a bunch of BS. Occasionally there's something worthwhile. Well, the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so what's next? Let's get back. So we talked about all the pain. And I spent 35 years, high school, hyperachieving, Princeton, hyperachieving, NYU Medical School. My buddies in the medical school were from the gym and the music world. I played with John Purcell, amazing sax players in the world, saxophone quartet, played tenor, alto, and soprano sax, played flute. Just an amazing buddy at the time. We met always at his apartment. He was married at the time with a gorgeous little daughter. Got divorced. I went to the next wedding in San Francisco when I lived in California. John Purcell and a bunch of guys who became major players. He was in the Cotton Club movement. Anyway, and we had a band also in the medical school. So 35 years orthopedics. Ortho means straight. Pedics is children. How do you help a child go physically straight? But I always wondered, what the heck you got to connect with as a Jew and Judaism. And then at 35, bumped into Chabad, living in Seal Beach, California. What a wonderful place. $500,000 blue house, half block from the gorgeous ocean. Used to walk, my oldest daughter was all we had then, Rachel. Used to walk along the water there. And I used to point out all the creations and say, Rachel, who made this? God, Hashem. Hashem is the name. We don't say God's name. Why do they say Jesus' name if they think he's God? Why do they think a man can be God? It makes no sense, guys. But he was a facilitator, I guess, for the non-Jews, because all you had is Jews. That was it. And pagans. And pagans can find ethical monotheism. But to say, when I went down to Texas with the Air Force, and I get told that I'm going to hell, show me hell in the Torah. Even heaven, I think, is just mentioned once. First Pasuk. By the way, in the Talmud it says even the best of doctors are going to Gehenna. Now Gehenna is a transitional place where you got to deal with all the things you did in life. Face God and look back at a camera video of what you did and transform better in the soul realm. Because that's all you are when you die, your soul. Another joke. Oh, I never finished the first joke. I'm gonna go there and then we'll get to the pain. Another joke. Oh, I never finished the first joke. I'm gonna go there and then we'll get to the pain. You got a rabbi and a bus driver both dying. And they're shooting up, but heaven isn't up. We talk about up in the sky. It's like Santa Claus coming to the chimney. Ridiculous stuff. Anyway, fantasy sometimes, imagination, but let's stick to moderate reality. Entertainment good. So, where was I again? My brain. Let's see if it pops back. The file pops up. Oh, I'm getting it. Hang on. Remember the other joke? What was this joke I was going to tell you? Shoot. All right, I'm going to finish the other joke. Maybe this one will pop up. Yeah, maybe you need to be back there. My face. I'm sitting in this chair, very inappropriate posture, because I'm shot. Straighten up. Okay. Okay. So the guy meets the girl, they go home together. The guy takes his socks off. She says, oh my God, what's the matter with your toes, your feet? He says, don't worry, it's okay. I had polio. She says, polio? You mean polio? No, polio, but I'm okay. Takes his pants off. Oh my God, what's the matter with your knees? He says, don't worry, everything's okay. I had measles. She says, don't you mean measles? He says, no, I had measles. He takes off his underwear. Oh, then she gets it. She says, no, don't tell me. Smallpox? Okay, that's that joke. You know what? I'm going to tell you another joke, which you need a prop. I talked to my buddy Al Z this morning. He works for Siemens. Yeah. And plays drums. Met him at 2 Georges, Boynton Beach Boulevard, where the intercoastal splits. How do you know when a guy's been having oral sex with a chicken? What the heck, guys? The guys were eating armadillo survival training in the Air Force. We're in the woods for a week. What are you supposed to do? I didn't eat any snake or armadillo. I don't remember what I did. I think I ate air. Things were different then. Okay, you ready? How do you know when a guy's been having oral sex with a chicken? Let's try that again. How do you know when a guy's been having oral sex with a chicken? Okay, how was that? Yeah, a little lewd, but you know something? Maybe somebody thought it was funny. If you can give a little joy to anybody. Oh, the other thing was I started to tell you about fun, happiness, joy. Fun is a physical adrenaline kick. Meaningless physical adrenaline kick. You could use the word fun. Are we having fun? Let's have fun. What'd you do for fun? Are we gonna have fun? So, John Belushi, Robin Williams, all the entertainers who OD'd, all the comedians who OD'd, all the people who OD'd, all the veterans who OD'd, overdose, dead. all the fentanyl deaths, all the opioid deaths. You know, I'm going to share with you Craig Beaver, chiropractor for Choice Medical, was responsible for running an ad. I had no idea. We were living in Jacksonville, and my ex wasn't happy there. They didn't have proper religious learning. Oh, I think I was telling you about orthopedic, straight child, and then 35 years orthodox, straight doctrine, how to help a child grow spiritually, intellectually, emotionally straight. You got the physical, and you got the spiritual, split up, 35 years to the orthopedics, then overlapping, 35 years spiritual plus the 35 years still with orthopedics, but got into wellness. We said, I is ill, we is well. So now, going back, where was I? I need that file. You know, I don't have all the songs on my brain. During the virus, thousands of tracks to play with on trumpet. It was hard to get a gig as a trumpet player. I got to make the band myself. With all that pain, and then not only my mother Holocaust survived, and the oldest, 2 years in a hellhole. Pig urine and crap coming down and then cockroaches. My mother later wrote a memoir, and she wrote a lot of poetry. It was amazing stuff. And her father, my grandfather, made Aliyah with my grandmother. That means they went up to a higher level, moving to Israel and Netanya, where they're buried. And in 2 years before he died of a heart attack, he wrote in Yiddish on 1,000 3x5 cards everything that happened. I translated with Rabbi Engel's help. First 500 cards, Sister Rhonda translated the next 500. So you know about the Holocaust pain that I absorbed. That was childhood. There were no other Jews that had Holocaust parents in my high school. Jews, some that got religiously involved. I learned in Hebrew school, good students, so whatever Hebrew I knew served me well 35 years later. And today, so, losing train of thought because I go all over the place. If you want to watch two of the funniest things, there's a minute and a half of Jackie Mason, Finding the Real Me. Hilarious. It's in my book. And another one, about 13 minutes, What's the Difference Between Men's and Women's Brains? You watch those two, you'll laugh, and totally transformative. Anyway, we'll watch the best movie of all time. It's a Bollywood. It's called The Three Idiots, number 3. And it used to be in YouTube with the English subtitles. Even though a lot is English, it's also in some Indian language. So you need the translation. The Three Idiots. Okay, getting back. So, I'm all over the place. So we got R.D. Klein, Jewish Top Gun fighter pilot with me in the Philippines, buddies 40 years. He retired Air Force, flew for Delta, retired, became partner in a chain of movie theaters and restaurants in Atlanta. He and his partner sold off everything. Seems to be doing very well now. No woman, he's divorced once, no wife, girlfriend, no kids. He's got a crazy dog in his large home backyard. And, we talk on a regular basis. And when he got a little depressed once upon a time, he called me. I said, go to Chabad. He went to Chabad, met Rabbi Nu, senior Rabbi Nu to the brother in East Boca, and became a huge benefactor, I think. I don't want to say something that's wrong in all this, but he's a benefactor of Chabad of Atlanta. He grew a beard and a ponytail, and somehow he smokes cigarettes and marijuana. RD, what the heck? We both had mustaches in the Air Force. Handsome guys. I'm still handsome. He is, but I gotta remove the beard and ponytail to see who he is. I was telling you about fun, happiness, joy. So, fun is the little kid going on a roller coaster. He cries maybe, he's yelling, he wants to go again on a bigger roller coaster. Why? It's not the roller coaster, the adrenaline produced in his body. He wants more of that adrenaline because it feels really good. It's a drug produced by the body. John Belushi, Robin Williams, what do you think they were doing when they were on stage? Gave a lot of happiness, joy, humor, comedy to thousands of people. However, they were pumping adrenaline. Nobody taught them happiness. Their parents, religious, place, friends, teachers, they didn't know happiness. They needed the adrenaline for happiness. If the adrenaline wasn't coming, they needed to replace it. And John Belushi, at home depressed. A lot of these comedians depressed. I'm sure you know that. So John Belushi, in order to recreate the adrenaline, the happiness, so to speak, shut up, goodbye. Robin Williams, he didn't die from a disease. Robin Williams had a disease that prevented him from creating the adrenaline. The adrenaline. He had a wife, beautiful kids, beautiful home, all the money he needed, plenty to think about and imagine. Why should he commit suicide? No adrenaline, no happiness. It's a false sense of happiness. So that fun, sex, drugs, rock and roll, beer, all the craziness, that's usually what fun is. It's defeating boundaries. Need boundaries in life. You know, when we open border, crazy. You need boundaries. Soul needs boundaries. Body parts need boundaries. You can close your eyes, you can plug your ears, and close your nose, close your mouth. You know, it's more important what's coming out of the mouth than what's going in. We keep kosher. It's about only eating animals that have a spiritual nature one for yourself. All the symbolism in Judaism, all the deep meaning is beyond what you see on the surface. I don't think most Jews really know what Judaism's about. They're not learned, they're not practicing. You know, 80% of Jews didn't leave Egypt. It's recorded only 20% left Egypt. Okay. So, now we're again. You know, I'm going to get to today. Okay. Yeah, happiness. Happiness is a mental trick. Fun is physical. Happiness is mental. How? You need three things to be happy. One, you got to know that everything's from God and it's all for the good. Gam Zulatov. It's everything for the good. So you have your revealed good, but then there's the rough stuff. Well, you got to know it's from God. We don't understand how, but it's for the good. So that's a shift. It's a mental trick. The next is you got to be in the now. You're in the past, coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's going to bring you down. Coulda, woulda, shoulda in the future, going to bring you down. Now you can use experiences and memory to pattern the present and the future in a proper way. And you can plan for the future from your past and your present. But you can't live in there. You won't be happy. So happiness is being in the now, knowing everything is from God and it's for the good. And the third thing is, you know what? I had a coffee. I think I'm gonna get my coffee charged up. Yeah, coffee. You know, I was in the airport before. And it wasn't that I had my glasses on my head. That's happened before, where you have your glasses on your head. And my glasses, if you have your glasses on your head, you're looking for your glasses. Well, I was pulling my bag with carry-on with stuff and my jacket. I had my coffee cup there, and I was looking for. I didn't know where my coffee cup was. So, yeah, that's why you need a wife. Everybody needs a wife. A wife needs a wife. Somebody to look after you, make sure everything's okay. You know, I just remembered my dad. He used to say a couple of things. You know, he told me first take a warm shower, then you take a cold shower. It's good for the skin, good for stimulation. You know, we wash our hands, thinking about cold. We wash our hands as the priest did in the temple and before prayer and certain other times. But if you pour the cold water over your wrist, so the radial arteries in here, if the cold water is over the radial arteries you're pouring over your hand, you're going to get this cold feeling in your blood throughout your body, and it's stimulating. You know, prior to all the work of the Kohen, the priest in the temple in Jerusalem, the Beis Hamikdash. By the way, I told you something before. You know, the files are popping up as we go. How does that work? Anyway, so the Jews are in the desert. God said to Moshe, every Jew has to contribute a half shekel towards the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the synagogue in the desert, which they built it, and God has to move, they have to take it down, build it again. You know, the laws of the Sabbath. There are 39 malachas, work things involved in the putting up and taking it down of the Mishkan, the Midrash. And God said you're not to do any work on the Sabbath of putting up or taking down the Mishkan. Those are the activities. It's not just resting. Those are the activities we can't do if we're an observant Jew. Why? Because it's connecting with God. Why? Maxi the shekel, half shekel. God said to Moshe, he said, every Jew is going to give a half shekel towards the building of the Mishkan. And in the Midrash, the stories of the Torah, God takes his anthropomorphic hand, palm up, with a fiery half shekel, and shows Moshe, and Moshe got it. Now, there's different interpretations, a lot of different rabbis interpreting over time, thousands of years. By the way, thousands of years, the word for water in Hebrew, so water is H2O chemically. Guess what? In Hebrew, thousands of years ago, it's Mayim Yud Mayim, like H2O. How the heck, the chemistry is in the word Mayim for water. How did that happen? Okay, next. So happiness, the last step of happiness is what? So everything from God, it's all for the good. Trick your brain, train your brain. Be in the now. Don't let people take you past the future. I tell people if they're going to take me down going past the future, coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda, be quiet. Keep your mouth shut. Silence is golden. Now I'm teaching. Why am I teaching? The word doctor, most medical doctors have no clue. And the PhDs are teachers. But what does doctor mean? It's from the Latin docere, means teacher. What does rabbi mean? Teacher. I'm a teacher. That's it. That's my essence as a Jew, and I'm not going to explain it now, but yeah. So, now where was I? Oh yeah. So, happiness, the last step of happiness is pretty tricky. It's to be content with your lot. Right? That seems like a good thing. And it's easy to connect that to happiness. But your lot can be an infinite number of compartments. So what do you do with that? Well, if you're in a room and it's too hot, you tweak the thermostat. If it's too cold, you tweak the thermostat. Everybody has a thermostat of mental contentment for every compartment in their life. So all you got to do when something happens, Let's say you want to have a nice day and it's a rainy day and you can't do what you want to do. Maybe you're getting married. Let's say you have a car crash. Let's say financial trouble. You lose in the stock market. Let's say the girl breaks up or divorces you. Well, I'm okay with that. That's it. You tweak your sense of contentment and you make it okay for everything that might bother you. That's happiness, those 3 steps. What's joy? Simcha in Hebrew. It's of the soul. Fun, a meaningless, transient, physical thing is fun. Then happiness is a thermostat mental contentment trick. Joy is the ability of the soul to use the body to sing and dance at any moment. Fun is body, happiness mental trick, and joy is living under God. Representative, as said before, of the yarmulke, of tzitzis, the strings at the bottom of a 4-cornered garment for a Jew in the Torah, is supposed to remind the Jew of the 613 commandments. Now, they're not really commandments. The word mitzvah more connects with an understanding of connecting to God. These fifth things connect you to God. It's like when I walk my doggy, I'm wearing clogs. Well, if I leave those clogs at the front of my condo, he might take one often, put it under the table where he hangs out. Why does he do that? He thinks it's part of me. And that physical thing helps him remember me. All the physical things we do, the commandments, the things to connect with God, connect us with God. The Star of David, Magen David, is a triangle point up. And then there's a triangle point down, or a pyramid. We are the sum total of our connections. That's what we are. You're a dad, you're a son, you're a father, you're a husband, you're an uncle. You do this work, you have this hobby, you're interested in this, you drive this. All these things are connections. Well, God's at the top, most important. Maxi the shekel, God is saying, I'm your other half. You're not whole, you're half, and I provide the other half to make whole. Yep. And in the Magen David, the Star of David, you have a triangle and a point up and a triangle point down. Point up is God at the top, spouse, kids, parents, community, everything going down, the tchotchke things, the nothing things. But you flip, because the moment you're not focused on God and connectivity, you flip. God doesn't play second fiddle, so he disappears from the triangle pyramid. And, yep. So, that's kind of that. We did fun, happiness, joy. Now let's get back to, well, amazingly, I asked my dad, how do I name a company? Maxi the shekel, half shekel, because I love the concept being half and half with God. And you carry, and that's the loving kindness relationship. And what you do then is you carry that loving kindness in all your relationships, with spouse, with parents, with kids, with community, etc., etc. All right, let's move on. So, which way do we go? All right, I'm going to get to most recently, last Wednesday. At the end of the day, I need a release. Playing the trumpet for me is my alibi. There are other things, but probably my favorite's the trumpet. I play anywhere and everywhere. So, I'm at Blue Jean Blues. I emptied my pockets, phone's on the table. When I came back after playing on stage, no phone. I didn't have a phone up till yesterday morning. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but that's how I Googled and found 99% of what we do with mental, brain, etc., intellect is in the phone, 1% is in our brain, according to Google AI. Anyway, so I didn't have a phone. I couldn't take care of anything. Anything. I didn't know the time. I didn't know GPS. I didn't have phone numbers even from my kids. And Verizon, my carrier, I told them I'll buy it from a pawn shop. Well, they said, you may have problems. We're not going to be able to connect it. And they gave me a Samsung phone. Well, I never used one of those. And guess what? My iPhone Cloud didn't connect and doesn't connect with the Google. And so I still didn't have contacts or calendar. Forget about it. So I had all that happen. And, I bought SpaceX. I had my money tied up in SpaceX. Had a car, was looking to change it. And takes money. Well, I wasn't able to access my money. My Village Capital Mortgage Company I set up in early May. I said, the computers, the spammers, the scammers, everybody's wreaking havoc on everything. Got to go in the airport. Mother's needing to lock all the doors, home and cars, which we never did it when I grew up. All the spammers and scammers, we need to capture them. We need to put them away, teach them a lesson. And that reminds me, I told you before, so we were in Jacksonville, no proper school for the kids, at that time, no proper kosher restaurant. And the restaurants, a lot of it is about the spiritual nature of the food. It's not a physical thing that the pig, is problematic physically. Interesting about the pig, what does God hate more than evil? Is switching good and evil, right and wrong, truth and untruth. And where does that happen? In the pig. The pig's mouth, so a land animal, and the only ones we can eat are peaceful, not carnivores, not attackers, etc. So the land animals need to chew their cud, and that represents thinking something over and over before making a choice or decision, that you do the right thing, hopefully. And then once you've decided, chosen, what do? You go. You go with your feet. Split hoof. We go double. Base, resh, chuf. The only three letters that have a gematria number value twice the letter before. It's about double. When we put on 2 sets of tefillin, etc. Double. We go double. Rebbe said, you go over, you don't go round or under. We go double. All right. So I was messed up because my money was in SpaceX, and I couldn't even drive an Uber. Village Capital. So I set up AutoPay beginning of May. They didn't take the AutoPay out, and I'm not in my bank. I'm busy. I'm not in my app. Village Capital to follow. So beginning of May, I get a letter. I'm defaulted. They don't call me and talk to me. I defaulted. I didn't default. So they wanted me to make 2 payments. So I made 2 payments for May and June. A week later, another payment was taken out for July, a month early. Left my account in the negative. Bastards. I called them. You know what the lady says? I should have canceled that AutoPay. What, it's about the bank, it's not about the customer? That's right. Healthcare system is about the insurance companies first. The doctors, the clinics, the hospitals, the radiology, MRI, pharmaceutical, technology companies. Second, patients last. They can shift, and it's happened to me. Your primary care is oftentimes they want. They can close out your specialist, the surgeon, etc. and make you go to somebody else. I mean, willy-nilly. All right. So, no money. Thank God. I ran into Ben Sion at Walmart where I was on my bike. I had to be on my bike. And so he helped me with an Uber. And now I got to pay him, which I'm going to do today as soon as I get off the phone. Pay him with Zelle for paying for an Uber for me. Kind of saved my life in a way. Actually, my bike is chained up, still parked at Walmart. I wonder if they're going to remove it. Anyway, I make enough money day trading the stock market to cover all that. And not concerned. Okay, so what's next? And then I am traveling to Vegas for Michael Jaggett's wedding this evening. I have an early flight. Well, I don't park at the airport. It's crazy. The price is crazy, and it's hard to find a spot. The garages are typically filled up. So I Googled, found the cheapest off-airport lot. It's like $4 a day. And it's a Sheraton. And I went there by GPS. And I was up early. I was doing everything early. Well, I got there. I'm hanging out there. Then they told me what it doesn't say online, that the shuttle only comes at the start of the hour. Well, that was a problem. I get in my car and I go back to the airport. There are no parking spots. I'm going to be late. When I go back to the hotel then, because actually I ran out of that. I left my bag there, carry-on. So I went back, and guess what? They told me I'm at the wrong hotel. There are 2 Sheratons named the same where you can park your car. So one of the managers there at that Sheraton tells me where it is. I GPS, I go there, and again, they leave on the hour. Well, I missed the flight. But I'm thankful, actually. I'm going to miss the wedding. I got to call my cousins. Miss the wedding, but I'm going to make the parties. I have a very nice gift for Michael and his Kala. Chassan is the groom. Kala is the bride. Very nice gift for them. It's a prayer over your new home. Shalom, peace in the home. Very important. Yeah, my dad, when I wanted to name the company, wellness company, from Maxi the Shekel, my dad right away said, call it Halva Shekel. I said, what the heck is Halva Shekel? Sounds like Haagen-Dazs. Doesn't mean anything. He said, yeah, Halva Shekel is half shekel, just like Maxi the Shekel. Then my uncle in Israel, when I visit, shows me a 4-volume Rashi-written part of quick kits of Shulchan Aruch called Maxi the Shekel, written by a relative of mine, published 1873. I have a 4-set copy of that. Amazing. And that was after I learned and loved that concept, and after my dad came up with the name Halva Shekel, which I made a DBA Missing Links Health, because that's what it is. You're missing, whether it's inventions, whether it's God in your life, etc. Okay. What happened then? So, mortgage company, week later, withdraws another mortgage payment, puts my Regions account in the negative. So I can't buy anything. I'm in the negative until I can transfer the money from the sale of the SpaceX. There's no money. So what? Now, the brain needs to get powered up again. I'm going to take a little coffee, and we'll keep going. You know, I tried to take my doggy on this trip. I filled out everything. Rejected. He's only like this big. He's a little Z. He was teeny when I got him 8 weeks old. And he started singing with my trumpet right away. Pretty amazing, miraculous. So, my count went negative. And calling Village Capital, first thing she says is, you should have canceled your auto pay. How do I know? Why isn't the company taking care of the customer like in healthcare? So, but they said they'll return the money. But guess what? Not computerized that day or in a day, 7 to 10 days. That's another BS. And Regions Bank is messaging me every day that I'm in the negative $35 fee, despite having called and told them what happened, despite them challenging Village Capital to get my money sooner. See what's going on? Systemic computer program problems. People programming the computers, the software, they don't know the details. By the way, they say the devil's in the details, God's in the details. Yep. Okay. So I booked to stay in the Sheraton. Well, there's another Sheraton. The same name. They don't say it in the advertisement. They don't say the shuttle leaves on the hour every hour. In fact, I get out of the JetBlue. The guy says on the phone to come back to get your car. You make a right turn to go to Section F. Section F was to the left. And there were no chairs there, and you're standing there for quite a while. That's where the little telescoping chair to love 007, which you're going to see all about. Okay, I'm going to back step. You got me, you got my doggy, Z, singing miniature Tweenie. I'm Dr. Zvi, ZVI, the future wisdom-tainment, new and improved Dr. Oz, who is infotainment, selling all kinds of crap. We're only going to do truth. Wellness, I is ill, we is well. Wisdom, the truth. Warriors. Why warriors? Because everybody gets knocked down. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody needs help to do the right thing. You got to get up. We're good friends with Muhammad Ali Jr., who's promoting a movie about his dad. You got to get up. Don't stay down. You got to know how to get up. So, now, brain, no sleep, no food, just coffee right now. Anyway, I couldn't take the doggy. Missed the plane. I'm here in the hotel. This room is nice. At least there's AC. It's so hot outside. I'm going to find a jacuzzi. I called some friends. I'm going to find a hotel with a jacuzzi. This place just has a pool. And there's a super hotel. I forget the name of it. On the beach between Hollywood and Hallandale. I think I'm going to go there because my flight is until later tonight. And I opened an account. Regions doesn't have banks in Vegas, in Nevada. So I Googled, and the one that has the accounts on the Strip is, what's the name of it? Oh my God. Anyway, I opened a new account yesterday because they're down there, and I sold Robinhood stock to free up money, thousands of dollars. I made in like the couple of days over $300 in a week, several $1,000s. So I sold. Now that money was in my account this morning. I sold it yesterday, and I needed to put it in the bank to be able to wire money. That was the whole point of opening another bank account. And when I tried to connect Robinhood app to that bank, That's the name of the band. Shoot. Anyway, it didn't let me because I had an old phone number once upon a time and a new phone number, and it was having a problem with my identity. So I called the bank to get help. They said there's nothing they can do. All kinds of stuff, guys. Life is life. Love you guys. When I get back, gonna be Z and me, and all the other guys and gals, and looking forward to doing everything. The guys continuing, who do we have? Pat Riley with MDR, Medical Doctor Research Company, where she manufactures all the vitamins and nutraceuticals. Her second company in her factory is Clientele Beauty, all the beauty products. We're going to be able to market those. Since the virus, she's had a rough time doing that. She lost, like all her relatives, except her brother in the virus. Yeah, we'll be able to help her with that. Eric Saffer, big marketer, Les Brown, getting people on stage, famous people, and regular people. Well, you're talking about transformation. He lost tons of weight. I'm in balance, losing not more than I have to, but I went from 215 down to almost 180. So, yep, I'm here. Look forward. The way I'm going to get everybody captured to stay on with the videos. Video is the best way to market today. But people come on 3-10 seconds and they're gone. I'm going to come on with the dog in my lap. Every video, every podcast. Going to have the guests. Richard Green is in Jerusalem, by the way. Roughly 85. He's a business genius and consultant and networker. Pat Riley, I mentioned, with 2 companies. Quite a few people. Lee Puglisi, I'd like to come on board. R.D. Klein, we have, as you know. All right, and so we're going to do the podcast, get everybody connected, and yeah, I think that's it. So all love, caring about everybody, and I'm going to leave my phone. No, I'm going to take my phone. Guys, and I'm going to say in the beginning of the video, I'm going to have the doggy in my lap the whole time. I'll have maybe sing a little bit in the beginning and tell everybody, hey, stay on to the end. And I'll play the trumpet, the dog will sing. We'll give you a whole song if you stay to the end. Maybe we'll capture people who stay on. Okay, everybody. Peace. Zahal. IDF. Pray for only good. We got to pray for governments, even if they're bad, that they should be good. Countries, we got to pray for, you got God, you bless. The Creator. Nobody really understands the Creator, but He's the Creator. He's the healer. He's the Father. He's everything. You want to bless everybody. Everybody's chosen for a role. I mentioned earlier some things about chosen as Jews. Unlike crazy Schmucker, Tucker, and Megyn Kelly, who's gone off her rocker, and Candace Owens, who's been off her rocker the longest time, and Anaconda Anna, and Uyghur, Uyghur, and Fuentes, and Canes. All right. So, Richard Green, Pat Riley, R.D. Klein, Eric Stoller. We got Tony Wilson, young James Brown, who doubled Michael Jackson 4 years. Amazing video of him performing at the Apollo, being introduced by Whoopi Goldberg. He was with Jane Brown for like 30 plus years. He did Jane Brown, better than Jane Brown. Traveled the country and the world, performing, keeping Jane Brown legacy alive. You know, Tony not only sings great, dances great. He does flips, run around on his hands. Crazy stuff. We got Ricky Williams, no Stevie Wonder, a lot of famous people that he's played with. He orchestrates and plays every instrument, but loves piano and singing. I pick him up at night. We go out and play the clubs. You got Yaakov Heller, international artist, sculptor, jewelry maker. Bunch of the recent presidents, all the prime ministers of recent time have his works. Holocaust museums, colleges, hospitals, a lot of places have his works. They're used by Rabbi New in East Boca to raise money for necessary things. Okay, guys, I'm signing off. All the love. We'll see if this has been recording for real and what this is going to generate. And I'm missing the doggy. He's not in here, but he will be. Love you all. Let's see, did I shut it off? And he shut it off. I don't know how you shut it. Let's see, did I shut it off? And he shut it off. I don't know how you shut it off.